Hello again. This is going to be chapter 9 of Genesis. Now, this is all about the rainbow. The double rainbow! Yeah, what a great video. Um, Anyways, this is chapter 9. Now, first of all, um, what I found interesting is verse 7-ish. It says, "And as for you, be fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply in it." Now, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what that means. But remember, not to your 100. Um, but I found this interesting because this is not a new command, right? He gave it to Adam and Eve as well. But so it wasn't a new command, but more of him renewing the old command, right? Because everything that he made before was wiped out, and he is willing to give mankind a second chance here, starting with Noah and his family. So he's kind of restating um, prior commands. And I mean, this just proves how much God can love. Because, I mean, from earlier chapters, you can tell that we were messed up. Mankind was messed to the max. But even with that, He's giving us a second chance here. I don't want to. I already talked about that, giving a second chance thing. So I'll stray from that. I don't remember what chapter that was. It was, I'll tell you. But so I just wanted to point that out, which I thought was cool. Another change, though, which I thought was interesting, is that before the flood, man and beast and crawlies and birds and stuff were kind of on like a friendly basis. So they were on the same level of the food chain, pretty much, on the same level. And you weren't allowed to actually eat meat. Everyone was a vegetarian or a vegan, I guess. I don't know. One of those two. They didn't eat meat. So, but now, after the flood, they can eat meat. And one of the things he says is that, where is it? Anyways, it says somewhere that beasts and whatnot shall now fear you. And where does it say that? Oh, there it is. And the who from all parts of the earth, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, and every bird of the air, and all that move on the earth, and all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hands. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. So, I like to think about it as before the flood was a trial, and that didn't go very well. So he was like, "Oh, let's try this way. Maybe this will work." And I mean, he is all knowing, right? But man's freedom of choice can be interesting. But the big thing about this chapter, I find, is that later on in, I don't know which chapter, verse 15, it says, "And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh." Now, what God expects of us is to make a covenant with Him, right? He wants us to give our life for Him, make a covenant that we will do what we can for Him, live our life for Him. Now, what's interesting is that God has not made a covenant with us. So it's not just He wants us to do stuff for Him, but He is doing stuff for us too. So it's a total give and take relationship with God. So it's not just you doing all the work. He is doing something. And it's just so cool that He is willing to commit himself before he asks us to commit, or he asks, is it K in asks, not T? He asks for a commitment from us. Let's just repeat that whole sentence. He is willing to commit himself before he asks a commitment from us, which is awesome. Because now we have God, the most awesome being on earth, or everywhere, awesome being in general, who's making commitments to us, which is awesome. Because I mean, sometimes we feel like I don't deserve a commitment from God, but you know what? Too bad, you got one. And all he asks from you is to commit to him, which isn't that much to ask when he's already committed to you. The big thing with God is having that relationship. And you can't have a relationship without both parties being committed to each other. Right? Now, what's also interesting is that Noah blows it pretty much right away. And it says Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. Now, first off, Noah said the curse is gone on the land. Just throwing it out there. Then he drank of the wine and was drunk. Shame, shame, shame. Don't drink. It's disgusting. And became uncovered in his tent. Now, at this point in time, being uncovered, like completely buck naked, and that time being that way was a sign of sin and shame, because actually I don't know why, but it was just seen that way. It was seen as shameful and sinful. And yeah, it's sad that he blew it that fast. I just found it interesting, especially because it's Noah. He's just a good guy. Actually, I'm gonna use this to make a little thing here. I don't know if I should say this, but this whole then he drank of the wine and was drunk and became uncovered in his tent. Let me just throw this out there that a lot of you guys haven't drank or have. Seriously, there is nothing going for you when you drink. I can honestly say that I have drank. I have been drunk. I have done that. But honestly, there's nothing in it. You get nothing out of it. You get the same thing from a sugar high. The only thing is you don't wake up and throw up for a day. So I'm just saying there is no point. Take it from me. Don't do it, man. Or a woman, anybody. Just don't do it. There's no point. And it's kind of shameful and very sinful. With another thing in this, which is really weird to me, honestly, I cannot explain it, but pretty much Noah is naked in his tent. Okay, his youngest son, who is named Ham. Yeah, he's named after meat. Came to the tent and saw the nakedness of his father, and then told his two brothers outside. All right. So then Shem and Japheth, the two older brothers, took a garment and laid it on both their shoulders and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away and they did not see their father's nakedness. Now that's kind of cool. Not the fact that he's naked, just saying, but the fact that Shem and Japheth didn't look, but they still covered him up. So they did all that they could not to look upon the shameful and sinful ways of their father. And it's also kind of cool because it's almost like they're trying to hide their father's shame. And it's kind of out of love that they do this. They don't want their father to embarrass himself in front of everybody, right? So even though what he just did is sinful and shameful, they still took it upon themselves to cover him up and almost protect him, right? Which is awesome. Because this I kind of relate to anything involving forgiveness, right? Because he's supposed to be setting an example for his children. This is not a very good example, getting drunk and lying naked in his tent. And the fact that his children just cover him up. They don't look, they don't mock, they don't do anything. They just cover him up and just it's like a massive heap of forgiveness right there. Because it's just like, yeah, well, I know our father is being stupid, but I'm going to honor, respect, and love him enough to forgive his sinful and shameful deed he just did and just cover it up. And I mean, that's hard for a lot of us. Because, I mean, if someone does something to us, like, sets a bad example for us, we don't want to forgive them. I mean, it's like, you had your chance, and you failed epically. Or, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just, don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to things that can be easily covered up and forgotten. I'm sure this is something Noah wanted forgotten because that was bad. Um, yeah, there you go. That's all I really have for that one. Next one should be interesting. It's Descendants of Noah by Nations. That'll be hard to do. Anyways, there you go. Hopefully that was good for you. All right, I'll do 10 later, hopefully. So, ciao.